Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Rakah Kodash. Double honors at, um, towards the elders and apostles at Great Millstone. Salutation to all the Archeans pushing this word in sincerity and truth. Shalom to all the Aquats being obedient unto your husbands and taking heed of this word. This is your brother Yasad back at you with another lesson. We're going to edifying through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahasham Yahushai. So this lesson would be going into a breakdown on the parable of the sower and the seed. You know? Yeah, well, let's say I could go and do a little breakdown for edification's sake upon the sower and the seed. So I will start it off. You know, Matthew chapter 13 and verses 1. It said the same day went Yahushai out of the house and sat by the seaside, and great multitudes were gathered together unto him, so that he went into a ship and sat, and the whole multitude stood on the shore. And he spake many things unto them in parables, saying, Behold, a sower went forth to sow. Right, so a great multitude of people, they were there listen. Well, for surely they followed the Messiah because they heard of the miracles that he actually had done and all these things. But the Lord, when he spake to the multitude, he always spake in parables. As it say, when you go down to verses 34, it say, all these things spake Yahushai unto the multitude in parables, and without a parable spake he not unto them. So every time the multitude was gathered and was coming unto them, he used to always speak unto them in parables. Right? Right, it says, verse 4, and when he sowed, some seeds fell by the wayside. So now I'll read it through, and then I will go from the interpretation that he gave unto the disciples. Because again, as the scripture say, he didn't speak unto them but in parables. So the interpretation wasn't for them. It was only for the disciples. In a sense, I would use the word the remnant, that he would choose to expose it, to reveal unto them. And maybe later on, more of them might have gotten the understanding through the disciples after Yahushai, So, right, it says, and when he sowed, some seeds fell by the wayside, and the fowls came and devoured them up. Some fell upon stony places where they had not much earth, and forthwith they sprang up, because they had no deepness of earth. And when the sun was up, they were scorched, and because they had no root, they withered away. And some fell among thorns, and the thorns sprung up and choked them. But others fell into good ground, and brought forth fruit, some 100-fold, some 60-fold, some 30-fold. Who hath ears to hear, let him hear. And the disciples came and said unto him, Why speakest thou unto them in parables? Right? So the disciples who was following Yahushai, right? It came into question into the minds that when the multitude are wrong, the Messiah actually speaking unto them in parables. and he know it's like he not revealing it unto them, you know. So here's the answer, the Messiah here, our Lord and Savior Yahweh Shai, whom the world ignorantly calls Jesus, which is not his name, and that same name is not gonna save you by you calling upon that name in in the time of all these plagues and death and destruction, because that's not the name of the Most High. No, that's not the name of his son, and neither is Jehovah and Yahushua and all these other things. There's one to call the Lord, and then they would say you could call the Lord by any name. You know, you could refer him unto any name. But hey, as the scripture says, there is no name under heaven that ye shall be saved by. You know? Yeah. There is no other Salakia. There is no other name under heaven that you're gonna be saved by. That is Acts, I think 4 and 12 of the paraphrasing. Right? So he answered and said unto them, because it is given unto you to know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven, but to them it is not given. Again, because it is given unto you to know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven, but to them it is not given. Because I see that myself, you know, because around the same time I was gaining this understanding, you know, through a brother. He's not in the faith at the moment, but I was actually showing one of my cousin, and no matter how plain I bring it to him, it's like it was foolishness unto him. And I seen it just plain. I seen it clearly. You know? I been able to understand the way how the brother was breaking it down to me, you know, and even other brothers that I get to know later on in the truth, right? And me asking questions, I could understand plainly, but it's like it's like the Lord. Not everybody could understand this thing. Not everybody, and that's why the scripture say in the same chapter is uh, blessed are they that are able to see and to understand. You know, I just roughly paraphrasing it. I mean, yeah, that is one part. It is a blessed thing for that. You know, Lord willing that I be able to endure and hold faith and be strong in this truth till the end, right? But it's a blessed thing to be able to understand, because if you can't understand this, you don't have a chance of being saved. You have no chance of being saved. It come like you want to win the lotto without a ticket, without you having, without you being able to understand this, you don't have a ticket. It says, alright, I'll read back verse 11. He said, he answered and said unto them, because it is given unto you to know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven, but to them it is not given. Yeah, this word is not given. That's why, as the scripture say, if our gospel be hid, it is hid to those that are lost, right? You know, and yeah, whom the Lord had blinded, and lead us as a stumbling block unto them, because they is just not a part of the election. You know, it wasn't, and that is just the thing. A lot of persons had to understand that in a movie everybody can be the star, and the Lord deals with a remnant. Because look at how much multitude, it could be thousands, or how much that that was by the upon the shore when the Messiah was speaking the parable unto them. And what, he didn't reveal it unto them, he went and revealed it unto what? The disciples. Because even self, if he was gonna try and reveal it, they maybe could not even understand at that point in time. Um, yeah. For whosoever hath to him shall be given, he shall have more abundance. Right. So to them that able to understand this truth, they they gonna have the reward. They gonna reap that reward in the end. You know, they gonna be able to get the full understanding of this truth. Uh, yeah. It says, but whosoever hath not, from him shall be taken away even that he hath. Yeah. So hey, and this brings that to mind for them, who actually is not a part of the elect, but they being able to understand the truth to a certain extent, right? When in a matter of time, this knowledge, it's gonna in a sense be taken away from them, because they're gonna draw back, because once you is not of the elect, you're not going to endure to the end. That is it. As it said, but whosoever hath not, from him shall be taken away, even that he hath. So the little understanding that he hath, right? That not going to be enough. That not going to be enough for when all the fiery trials come, for him to be able to sustain, right, and hold out. He going to fall back into the world, because he's not a part of the elect. It said, therefore speak I to them in parables, because they seeing see not, and hearing they hear not, neither do they understand. So no matter how much you might even see to be a family member who might even be under Christianity, and he have a, a vast amount of knowledge about the word, and he been into the Bible, right? And he believes in the Bible, you know. But no matter how much you try to explain and bring the facts and supporting points, which is clear, it's just that in his spirit, he always going and be like, even though it's in the truth, and he might even confess, yeah, you know, you're right, but I can't believe that. That we gonna say at the end of the day, you know, they're not going to be able to understand still. It's saying in them is fulfilled the prophecy of Isaiah, which is Isaiah, right? This prophecy going back in book Isaiah 6 and 9, where it says, which saith, by hearing ye shall hear, and shall not understand, and seeing ye shall see, and shall not perceive. Yeah. And that is why a lot of people, they will come out in the highways and byways, and they will come, they will question, get the proof. Well, they will get the supporting and backing up scriptures to help them get a full understanding. The facts, even history, might be brought to them, but they're still not going to believe it. They're still not going to be able to understand it. They will always be in opposition and always jump from here to there, jump about the place. It's if for this people heart is waxed gross, and the ears are dull of hearing, and the eyes they have closed, lest at any time they should see with their ears, and hear with their ears, and should understand with their heart, and should be converted, and I should heal them. Yeah, and that is it. You know, we even because this here all is to show you, right, that is the Messiah or the Most High, right, literally have to spark that light in you. The Most High had a in a sense um put a spirit on you to be able to understand this, because a brother could be trying to teach you all how, and trying to show you this all how, right? This word, and it's like you can't understand it, but it's until the Lord heal you and the Lord open your eyes. Because if the Lord don't open your eyes, you wouldn't be able to understand where you're being taught. You wouldn't be able to. That's why the scripture say you had it quickened. He revived you. You know, he being the one that open your eyes. That is Ephesians 2 and verses 1. Right? Even First Peter, when you understand the first or second Peter. Yeah. First Peter 2 and 9, it said, "But ye are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood and holy nation, a peculiar people, that ye should shew forth the praises of him who had called you, out of the darkness into the marvelous light." And that is it. You know, even when the scriptures say, if the gospel be hid, it is hidden to them that are lost, whom well, it's like the Lord put it in a way that you not going to understand this. That's why he say he hide this from the wise and the prudent, and reveal it unto the babes and sucklings. You know, because the Lord has his remnant, you know, the election, right? That would be able to understand this. That's why it's in my sheep hear my voice, you know, and they know me. No, and I know them, just roughly paraphrasing. Yeah, the sheep hears the voice, you know. It also have another one was saying um it was saying that the knot of the Lord's fold, right? Or the other scripture that's saying, if there was with us, they would have stayed with we, you know, they would have continued with us. But right, it say that ye should shew forth the praises of him who had called you out of the darkness into the marvelous light. Right? Can. And that is just the thing. The Lord call you out of the darkness. You could not just wake up to this and alright, you wake up one morning and that is the thing too. You had to be taught this just as well too. You know? It goes hand in hand. By you being taught, the Lord literally opening up your eyes that you may be able to receive this knowledge. And that is how it actually works. You know, but let me don't go too far. Alright? Let me get back down into it. Alright, so verse 16 says, "But blessed are your eyes, for they see, and your ears, for they hear." So hey, we are the count ourselves blessed, you know, to our point, because where we being truly blessed is if we endure in this truth and hold out. That is we being fully blessed there. But it's a blessed thing that we being able to understand this, because I was saying earlier, it's like we have a ticket to win the lotto. But if you can't understand it, what the ticket? So blessed are we eyes for we see, and we be able to hear. For verily I say unto you that many prophets and righteous men have desired to see the things which ye see. Because hey, this even going back to before the Messiah come upon the scene, right? And and Israel was always in a certain state, right? But but now the Lord literally waking back up the spiritual house at David, and waking we back up with the knowledge of these things, stirring up with pure minds. Let's say, yeah, which ye see and have not seen them, yeah, and to hear those things which ye hear and not heard them. Alright, so here's the understanding of the parable here. Right? So although the interpretation was given to them, we back here now, right? Because the prophets are subjected unto the prophets back then, right? So now in this time, although this interpretation was given, we being able to give you a more full understanding of what the interpretation is. Because, and that's just the thing, the truth could only be the truth. You can't add and mix this and mix that with it. But hey, like here we go, verse 19, it say, when anyone hear the word of the kingdom, because again, the sower, right? We, we actually, the, 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 the sower or the seed, right? Ultimately being Yahweh Shai, right? But through the prophets, that is how we sow in the seed. We being his laborers. We being his laborers for him, right? And 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 going out and showing the people them this word, the understanding of this word. So through us, right, the men of the Lord preaching, he sowing that seed by we preaching and speaking unto the people. Right? So it's when anyone hear the word of the kingdom, so when we go out in the highways and byways, or even it might be we do with videos and someone hearing, right? Somebody hearing we speaking and understand it not. Right? So when anyone hear the word of the kingdom and understand it not, then cometh the wicked one and catcheth away that which was sown in his heart. Your heart going back to your mind. That is he which received seed by the wayside. Because it say that I'm gonna take out my sword, select it. Matthew. So I'll actually be going through this a bit slow, to get the full understanding. Right. And hey, as it recalled to me, what I was to go down into is the meaning, into I was to go down into the word parable. Right.
Strong's G 3850 parabole. Parabole.
Right, parabole. Which goes into a metaphor, a comparison of one thing with another, likeness, a similitude, an example by which a doctrine or precept is illustrated. So just as when the Lord speaking in parables, right, he using something that is compared to something metaphorical. That is why the scriptures, right, we see we is not just carnal and plain, but it's also metaphorical and spiritual. So that is why it's not everything you read will just be plain in the scriptures, and especially when coming to the parables of the Lord. Right. So right, Matthew 13. So the first one say in 13 and 4 say, right? When the sower went forth, and when he sowed, some fell by the wayside, and the fowls came and devoured them, right? So coming back down with the interpretation of the seed being cast by the wayside is when someone hear the word, right? As just as going into either the brothers and them preaching, and someone come up and listen for a bit, right? So this word, when we speak it and someone actually hearing it, that is the seed being sown there. So it say the word, right, um and they get a full understanding, right? Then cometh the wicked and catch it away that which was sown in his mind, right? So that wicked going into a seducing spirit, because remember, we the doctrine are the truth, right? Apart from it, there's a lot of false doctrine out there, a lot of false teachers. So that person might hear something, you know, from 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 hear some he you know, might have been taught something from a brother, the seed being sown in them that had the word, and then the pastor or something come along being a seducing spirit, and and pull that away out of the mind, pull that away, you know, as simple as, alright, they might hear, well, the Lord come for everybody, you know, the Lord, um the Lord love everybody, or the Lord didn't die for everybody in the world, you know. The pastor now being the seducing spirit will come and say, well, nah, John 3:16, for God so loved the world, with that big missing, that big misinterpretation of the scripture, and just pluck away that seed, right, which um that seed, which is the words of truth, out of them. It said, but then he received the seed into, but he that receiveth the seed into stony places, the same as he that heard the word, and none with joy received it, um, yet hath he not root in himself, but endured for a while. For when tribulation or persecution ariseth because of the word, by and by he is offended, right? So that is going into the word being, it fell among stony places, right, where there was not much earth, right? Forward they sprung up because they had no deepness of earth. So this here, what it's saying is that when the word being sown in someone, it could be a brother who come in truth and learning easy, right? And and here being um diligent, because it say he hear it, and 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 none with joy he receiveth it, without that spirit having that zeal, always studying and always taking in videos and always building yourself in the truth, right? Because it get to take root into him, you know. And that is it being, it fall upon the stony ground, because he have, and another thing to it going into, he didn't get that fullness of that belief. Because if you had that you fully believe in this, you going and endure, you wouldn't feel offended, because you have a full understanding of what you're into. And that is where this word fell upon stony ground, you know. Right, verse 22, it say, he also that received seed among the thorns is he that heareth the word, and the care of this world and the deceitfulness of riches choke the word, and he becometh unfruitful. Right? So that is pursuing to the seeds that fell among thorns, and the thorns sprang up and choke him. Right? So this even going into day that come into this truth, under under some sort of benefit. You know, you you into this truth not because you had the full belief and you thinking about the reward are the heavenly things, but you into this truth either for some kind of fame. You like the fame you're getting with it. You in this truth, you're selling the word of the most high, and you being enlarged with the riches and being proud and puffed up within yourself, you know, because them things being torn. You thinking about worldly things, well, yeah, in this truth for, for the benefits of it. You're getting fame, and then, alright, you a couple years in the truth, you know, you have a lot of brothers following you, you know, and they're giving you money because they know you 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 teaching them and X, Y, and Z, you know, and until you build up that pride and things just start to swallow you. The same world and the same money you was reaping within the truth by selling the word and all these things, this choke you, you know, the spirit get taken away from you, because the purpose of you being in the truth, you wasn't aiming for for the the price of the kingdom of heaven, but you was looking upon things that right before your eyes, you know, being a part of the truth. But verse 23, but he that received seed in the good ground, right, which pursuing to verse 8, but other fell into good ground and brought forth fruit, some 100-fold, some 60-fold, some 30-fold, right. It actually says here, but he that receives seed into the good ground is he that heareth the word and understandeth it, which also beareth fruit and bringeth forth some 100-fold, 60-fold, some 30, right. So this actually going right into the word. Well, I would literally say that is when a elect man come into the truth and receive this, because he going to be fully dedicated to this. He going to want to know more and more and more, and he going to keep full in the oil and be able to get had the full faith, had the total understanding, and he going to be one that counting the course in the truth. That is when he literally grow. He be fed. He get fed with the milk and started chew easy on the meat, you know. And this word literally grounding. He grounded into this word. He he being able to understand, well, hey, um he 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 dying for this word with joy, because he had the full understanding of the reward in the end, you know. And that is when this word being sown upon good ground, a brother that sincere, a brother that you know actually dedicate himself to this, you know, he make this his top priority, you know, and and he going and bring forth fruit, you know, as meaning, because he will be doing what he's supposed to do. He gonna be teaching, so he could be bringing other fruits into it. Other brothers gonna learn from him and come into the truth, you know. And then apart from it too, he would actually be adding more talents unto himself by he continuously being dedicated into this, because he might be able to learn the Hebrew as speaking tongues. He could be able to learn a lot of breakdowns, you know, and be able to understand plenty deep parables, and that all that is going into he bringing forth fruit, you know. All right. Well, that's it on that, right? So, as again, right, I have a little small thing to say on it, because you know, again, the parables, it was, no, the parables, the Lord spake unto the multitude, right, in parables, but he revealed it unto it is given unto you to know the mystery of the kingdom of heaven, but to them that are without, these things are done in parables. Reason being, them they who do have the well the Rokako in them to be able to understand this, you know, because as I was saying earlier on, a lot of people they they go be a Christian and deeply into the word. They mightn't be correct on doctrine and whatsoever, but when you come with the truth unto them and they have a good grasp and knowledge of Christianity and X, Y, and Z, are them reading the Bible and doing the little research and thing. But no matter how much you try to show them this word, it's like they can't understand it, because the Lord literally dealing with a remnant to fully get the understanding of this and to hold on to this. But hey, I hope this little lesson was edifying. Again, double honors unto the elders and apostles at Great Millstone. Shalom to all the brothers out there holding strong in this word. Shalom.